This is CES MMA.
Here is the Pinnacle Vodka Tale of the Tape. Kyle BOCHNIAK versus MARIUS ENACHE. ENACHE comes in at 1-2, weighed 154 yesterday, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And BOCHNIAK 1-0 in his professional career. He weighed in at 150. He fights out of Winthrop, Mass. Let's send it down to Rick Provost for the official introduction.
This is the Pinnacle Vodka bout of the evening. We begin in the blue corner. He weighed in at 154 pounds. He holds a professional record, including 3 fights. He hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, representing Team Balance. Please welcome MARIUS ENACHE. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 150 pounds. He has a professional record of 1 fight with 1 win, coming by way of submission. He hails from Winthrop, Massachusetts, representing Broadway Jiu-Jitsu. Please welcome Kyle Killer B BOCHNIAK. 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Kevin McDonald is the man in charge at cage side.
All right, here we go. Featherweight division. Kyle BOCHNIAK fighting out of Winthrop, Mass, taking on MARIUS ENACHE out of Philadelphia. Big age difference here. Adam, 38 years of age, MARIUS ENACHE. Kyle BOCHNIAK, the young gun at 27 coming in. But a real impressive start in his short career. Fought here in January and destroyed Peter Bertucci. First round submission, had him out of there early, rear naked choke. Real impressive young prospect. Also fought on CES's Pro-Am show in November at Falcons Casino. Put on a tremendous show there as well.
Age really doesn't matter much in this sport.
Certainly not. The one thing ENACHE does have is a 4-inch height advantage. That may or may not make a difference. He is a seasoned veteran. Only 3 pro fights. Again, another fighter who got off to a late start. Made his debut in 2012 when he was 36.
You wonder if that helps a fighter with the nerves before a fight. We've seen some of the fighters before tonight's telecast, and you could read their body language and whatnot. And a lot of the older fighters are a lot more relaxed and ready to go.
Absolutely. We have seen cases here. Big left hand by BOCHNIAK lands as he tries to get ENACHE against the cage. Nice takedown by ENACHE.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
And momentarily has him in a headlock, but now BOCHNIAK briefly getting ENACHE's back. They are back to their feet. BOCHNIAK rams them against that cage. The one thing about BOCHNIAK, he has shown tremendous poise in his young career. We have seen some younger fighters, though, making their debuts, just not show that same poise. They're a little too excited when they get in there, and sometimes they burn themselves out in the first 3 minutes of the opening round. And if the fight ever progresses, they have nothing in the tank toward the end. That could be a real disadvantage.
We may have saw that exact instance in the last fight with Rivera.
I think so, too. I think Rick Rivera may have burned himself out in that opening bout, and as a result, choked out by Tommy Ventucinque toward the end of the opening round. BOCHNIAK just maintaining control with ENACHE against the cage. Good spot for a knee here if you can deliver. We'll see if BOCHNIAK gives it a shot. Trying to go for the single leg takedown. Nothing doing. ENACHE lands a nice left hand.
Square to the face on that.
And it looks like BOCHNIAK, despite getting the takedown here, has a cut over one of his eyes or maybe over the bridge of his nose. We can't really see it from this angle. 2:51 to go in round number 1. ENACHE's shown decent hands in stand-up, I got to say.
He is the aggressor in this fight. ENACHE playing defense, but luckily for him has been able to turn a lot of BOCHNIAK's moves on him.
Certainly, you look on paper, you see a 1-2 fighter, 38 years old, fighting a young 27-year-old prospect. I think it's going to be a mismatch, but ENACHE fights out of Philadelphia, and there is something to be said for that. It is the fighting city, and it is that way for a reason.
Right.
Those fighters traditionally are tough.
That's
they come
not
up
a cliche.
through tough gyms. No, not a cliche whatsoever. If you've ever seen Hammer and Hank Lundy in the boxing circuit fight, you know what we're talking about.
Don't let him step across to the left leg. Do not let him step across to the left leg.
We are here live at CES MMA 22. Mike Parenti joined by my broadcast partner, Adam Palazzo. We are in the featherweight division right now. Kyle BOCHNIAK in the black trunks with the red, white, and blue flag down the side. ENACHE in the black trunks. And again, BOCHNIAK going for that single leg takedown. But ENACHE's got good takedown defense.
It's been a pretty even fight so far. ENACHE landed a nice square punch to the face. But both these guys have given each other their licks in this first round.
You hear referee Kevin McDonald saying, let's go, guys, before at some point he will break him apart and bring the action in the center of the cage if it continues in this stalemate. And Kevin McDonald, one of the pros, one of the veterans in this circuit, has done that in the past, knows exactly when to call it. You're not really seeing much going on here too, Adam, so at some point he may step in. As long as both fighters stay active, he'll let them go. Now you see BOCHNIAK try to drive that knee into the midsection. So showing a little bit of something here to keep it right here against the cage where he wants it. At the very least, ENACHE can't do much when he's here.
Right.
And that hurts you as you go along, and it can hurt you on the judges' scorecards if the fight happens to go 3 full rounds.
Just under a minute remaining in round number 1. Both these guys jockeying for position right now.
It seems like BOCHNIAK is so intent on getting that single leg takedown that he's really ripping up pages in the playbook here and not doing much of anything else. And at some point, if you're BOCHNIAK, you may just want to step back and let it get back to the center and let your hands go. But for what it's worth, he's still trying to keep him pressed against that cage, still trying to get a takedown. ENACHE's got strong legs, good takedown defense. You see BOCHNIAK trying to get that right leg behind ENACHE's left leg, and it's just not working.
And one thing you mentioned, the amount of effort that comes out of these guys in will and stamina, it doesn't look like much, but these are two guys giving all their might right now.
No, you're absolutely right. It doesn't look like much, but it's definitely physically exhausting. Action does break up back toward the center of the cage in the final 10 seconds here. We'll see if somebody can steal this round. BOCHNIAK tries to lunge into it left and right, and that'll do it. So round number 1 in the books, not much action toward the middle of the round. ENACHE held his ground, nice job against the cage. BOCHNIAK tried to be the aggressor toward the end, but just really couldn't get anything going. We'll see if there's a cut here, because I thought we saw something early on.
There is some blood, Mike. It looks like it's coming from the nose. That might have been that shot he took straight to the face.
Yeah, you see Scott Ream applying the cotton swab. They're going to try to get the swelling down under his left eye, I believe. And yep, there it is. Scott Ream, who is typically our play-by-play man, actually working Kyle BOCHNIAK's corner. Yeah, you see the blood coming out of that right nostril. Good call, Adam. And of course, trying to apply the pressure under the left eye to get that swelling down. If anything, ENACHE showed decent stand-up, which we didn't really know what to expect from him. We've never seen him fight here in this venue before, but did a nice job letting his hands go. And you could probably argue that he landed some of the cleaner shots in round 1. BOCHNIAK maybe a little bit more technical trying to get those takedowns, but ENACHE lands a couple of power blows, and if anything, drew some blood at least in round number 1.
ENACHE used BOCHNIAK's own momentum against him in that first round and landed that clear shot to the face, and that we'll see how much that comes into play in this fight.
Round number 2 underway. ENACHE going upstairs with a head kick, partially blocked by BOCHNIAK. BOCHNIAK again in the black trunks with the red, white, and blue decals. ENACHE in the black with the white stripe down the side. Round 2 of 3 in the featherweight division. Again, BOCHNIAK 1-0 after his win here on January 24th. ENACHE's 1-2. He's lost his last 2. Nice left hand. Nice,
another one.
Nice straight left by ENACHE. And another left. The right partially blocked, but those left hands are getting in. And now ENACHE's feeling a little confidence here, letting the legs go, trying to get those rear leg kicks.
Seems like he's creating the tempo of this round and keeping the distance with his kicks and then landing some solid punches.
Perhaps we see why BOCHNIAK didn't want to go back to the center of the cage in round number 1, because when he has, ENACHE has been the favor here. He has been the favorite fighter. He has been one letting his hands go and landing those lead lefts.
Using his size, his height to his advantage in this fight is ENACHE. Oh,
big
and that's
right. BOCHNIAK lands the right on the chin, and now he's raining down with the hammer fists, lefts and rights, and that's going to do it. What a turn of events. Kevin McDonald steps in, stops the bout. All it took was one right hand, and Kyle BOCHNIAK turned the tide, and he scores the knockout win.
The quintessential example of why this sport is so popular.
Well,
in a blink of an eye, the entire fight changed. ENACHE still may not know where he is. He got dazed. His bell was rung very quickly, and BOCHNIAK capitalized on it right away, smelled the blood in the water, and it wasn't his this time.
That's why you can never blink when these fighters are wearing those 4-ounce gloves, because anything can happen. We thought ENACHE had some momentum on his side in round number 1 and round number 2. He's landing those left hands. All of a sudden, BOCHNIAK lands a right directly to the chin, and that's usually the death blow in any sport, whether it's boxing or mixed martial arts. We'll take a look at the quick replay here and just see how all this unfolded in a heartbeat. There's the
there
left,
it is,
there's
right
the right.
there. That one right to the chin, and then just punishing elbows on the ground.
And you see Bochniak try to mix in a right elbow, just a series of lefts and rights. ENACHE with no defense whatsoever, no way of answering that. Good stoppage by Kevin McDonald, because that could have got ugly if there were another 3, 4, 5 punches thrown at that point. Impressive win for Kyle Bochniak. And again, we go back to the debut, we go back to the first fight with Tommy Benesinkwe. He's showing no signs of panic whatsoever. Same thing for Kyle Bochniak, no panic. He's getting beat in the middle of the cage, he's getting beaten stand up, and then he lands a right cross, and it's all she wrote. He knocks out MARIUS ENACHE. Impressive win for Kyle Bochniak. He is now 2-0. It's his first career knockout in the professional division as well. What a fight.
It was a good fight.
In a moment, we will send it down to our cage side announcer, Rick Provost, who will have the particulars.
At 1 minute and 14 seconds of round number 2, your winner by knockout, Kyle Killer B Bochniak.